Hi there folks, and welcome to the Word Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour, issue number 15. So in our science articles, the scientists have discovered that there's an Earth-sized planet orbiting around our nearest star other than the Sun, Proxima Centauri. And what they're saying is that the conditions on this planet, due to its relative distance from this star, might even be enough to sustain life. So basically Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years from Earth. One light year is about 5.88 trillion miles. How many miles away is Proxima Centauri from Earth? You have to give your answer in scientific notation if you can. So first of all, we need to think about what the number 5.88 trillion looks like. So 1000 is 3 zeros, million is 6 zeros, billion is 9 zeros, so trillion would be 12 zeros, 5 and 12 zeros for 5 trillion. So basically 5.88 trillion would look like this. So after the 5 you've got to have 12 numbers. So if that's 1 light year, then 4.2 light years, you would have to multiply this by 4.2. And depending on what calculator you're using, if you used a good scientific one, it would give you the answer in scientific notation anyway. But if your calculator managed to display the actual number, it would look like this. So to change to scientific notation, we need a number at the start that lies between 1 and 10, using all of these digits, but not the zeros after the last number. So that's going to be 2.4696 at the start. It's going to be times 10 to the power of, and then just the number of numbers after the 2. So if you count them all up, it's going to be 2.4696 times 10 to the power of 13, and obviously our units in this case is going to be miles. Okay, so on to our second article, and it's debating whether Pokemon Go has passed its peak, because if you actually look at the graph of the usage of Pokemon Go, the number of daily users and millions of people, obviously around about the 17th of July it reached a peak, and then it started to decline, and as you can see from the 16th of August, which is when this graph was produced up to, you can see that it's actually tailed off quite substantially from the peak. So what fraction of users has the game lost? So we have to work out how many users it's lost first of all from its peak value. So we take the 30, the value that it's currently at, away from its peak value of 45. So we're saying Pokemon Go has lost 15 million users a day. So the fraction would be how many is it lost out of the peak value. So the fraction is going to be 15 out of 45. And we'll look to simplify this fraction as it asks us to do in the question. So what's the biggest number we can divide 15 and 45 by? Well, they're actually both in the 15 times table. So we do 15 divided by 15 is 1. Then we do 45 divided by 15, which is 3. So what we're saying is from its peak value, Pokemon Go has lost a third of its users. So I wonder what that would look like in a month's time. Maybe it's the end of it. Maybe people are rejecting Pokemon Go and starting to spend more time in the homework now. Fingers crossed. Okay, on to the technology section. So the first Apple computer sells for $815,000. And there are actually only 200 of these computers made in 1976, which maybe explains to why it sold for so much. And back in 1976, each of these Apple I computers was sold for $666.66. So how much profit has this Apple I made that sold for $815,000? So to calculate profit, we have to take the amount that we paid for it away from the selling price. So if you're actually going to do this sum as a vertical one without a calculator, it's quite tricky, but if you manage to do that, okay, you'll get an answer of $844,333.34. Okay, so on to our last article, it's fashion. So Prada seeks younger customers in a bid for growth. So as we run up to Christmas, and you can ask what you want, but because you've already got an iPhone, a laptop, a tablet, clothes, etc., maybe you want to ask your parents for a Prada handbag. Okay, so the Italian luxury fashion group Prada has predicted a return to growth, but what they've said is the reason why they need to consider growth is that their first half profits that were released this week have fell by 25% from 440 million euros in the previous 6 months. So how much profit did Prada make the first half of 2016? So first of all, we need to calculate the amount that the profits have fallen by. So they've fallen by 25%. So we need to work out a quarter of 440 million. So the quickest way to do that is just to divide 440 by 4, and just remember to put million after your answer. So the amount fallen, the amount the profits have fallen has been 110 million euros. So the profit so far for 2016, we take the old profit we take the amount that's fallen away from the old profit, so that's going to give us a profit for the first half of 2016 of €330 million. Still quite a lot of money though, I'm sure we'll all agree. Anyway, that was our What Solutions for the Daily Rigour, issue number 15. Hope you found that useful. And stay tuned for next week's issue when we'll be looking at some new problems from the news of the week. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.